Julius Malema and the EFF last week made a second payment in 2 months of more than 100,000 rand to the civil rights organization, AfriForum, to pay 2 of the 5 cost orders that AfriForum had obtained against them in the courts. The second and latest payment was made on Thursday, the 10th of January 2019, and it amounted to 108,960 rand 79 cents. The amount that AfriForum received from Julius Malema and the EFF on the 13th of November 2018 amounted to 126,703 rand 59 cents. Since March 2017, AfriForum has obtained 5 cost orders against Malema and the EFF in 5 different appearances in the North Gauteng High Court. It is estimated that the total amount due in terms of the cost orders is around 550,000 rand. After the EFF and Malema paid in total more than 235,000 rand, the amount owed stands at an estimated 315,000 rand. According to AfriForum, the outstanding 3 cost orders will only be paid later, as 2 must still be taxed, and 1 is subject to an appeal application brought by Malema and the EFF. Because of the 2 payments that AfriForum has already received from Malema and the EFF, AfriForum will not go ahead with selling, at auction, the EFF's assets, which the sheriff has already seized, before the legal processes of the 3 outstanding cost orders have been finalized. Carly Creel, CEO of AfriForum, welcomes the further payment by Malema and the EFF. Carly Creel indicated that AfriForum will use Malema and the EFF's payments in the court battles to fight attempts to change the country's constitution to allow for expropriation of land without compensation. The 5 cost orders stem from the court case that AfriForum brought against Malema and the EFF last year to obtain an interdict to prevent them from inciting people to occupy land illegally. The Northern Gauteng High Court found in AfriForum's favour on the 7th of March 2017 and granted the interdict with cost. Malema and the EFF then brought an application to have the interdict set aside, which would have been heard on the 12th of September 2017. However, the court had to postpone the case after Malema and the EFF submitted their heads of argument in their own case too late. The judge consequently granted a punitive cost order against Malema and the EFF. When the case resumed on the 18th of February 2018, Malema and the EFF's legal representatives failed to appear, and the case was settled in AfriForum's favour, and a further cost order issued against Malema and the EFF. The other 2 cost orders were issued on the 14th of November 2018 in AfriForum's favour against Malema and the EFF in 2 separate cases in the North Gauteng High Court. The first order applies to a case of contempt of court brought by AfriForum against Malema and the EFF after Malema and the EFF continued to encourage land grabs despite a standing interdict that AfriForum had obtained to prohibit them from inciting people to occupy land. Malema and the EFF's legal team failed to submit their heads of argument in time, which means that the case will have to be heard later. With this, the EFF and Malema incurred yet another cost order against them. In the second case, the EFF and Malema attempted to obtain an urgent court order to prevent AfriForum from removing and selling the EFF's property at auction to recover legal costs. The court ruled that Malema and the EFF's case was not urgent and issued another cost order against Malema and the EFF. The payments that Malema and the EFF made to AfriForum last week and on the 13th of November 2018 were to settle cost orders that had been issued on the 12th of September 2017 and the 18th of February 2018, respectively. Malema and the EFF are currently appealing the interdict that AfriForum obtained against them on the 7th of March 2017, while the two cost orders of the 14th of November 2018 must still be assessed. Thanks for watching. Please comment, like, share and subscribe.